gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Aquila Spectacular. We're going to get stuck into Brandon's hatchway. I am very attractive, and with me, as always, is the man who takes more combat stims than Wes Sims, Michael Magus.
I mean, Wes Sims does not take combat stims. That's way too clean for him.
He gets a nice warm glass of milk before every fight, and it just really amps him up.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Wes Sims is maybe the weirdest fighter of all time.
Is he even still fighting? I'm gonna look it up.
Probably still is. We are here at Brands Hatch for the opening round of the ESR Aquila British Tour. This is a fun server, which means no password. Anyone could join. You right now. You listening to this right now. You could join this race. Not this race because it's over. But next round, you could. We're doing these races on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Eastern time, and yeah, this is the opening round. We got Tobias Theerolf currently in the front of the pack, which is not surprising. Henrik Andreasen, Rene Ermer, Bertrand Barrier, and I do not know what the S stands for Mr. Oliveira. That is your top 5, followed by Jord Evans, Martin Evans, James Butler, Magic Kashchuk, and Andy Darnell. As qualifying is wrapping up here for the 23 cars that will make up the grid for the first of our 2 25-minute races. No pit stop, pure sprint, and we got an interesting group of we just got a lot of solid race car drivers here today. We got some OGs returning to race room after some time away, like Sean Kenny, like myself, Michael Magus down there in 15th place. Shout out. Wayne Hutchison's back from his iRacing addiction. He's in 17th place. And of course, we have a lot of the normal faces, such as Martin Evans, Mauricio Delgado, Adam Komorowski, James Butler, Andy Darnell, Bertrand Barrier, Tobias Theerolf, all kinds of stuff. Hey, Rude Martins, I didn't even know he was here. And he's down in 21st position.
I can't confirm that Wes Sims
in fact, there's a 24th car that did not qualify, and that is the Tropical Storm, Josiah Jerome.
JJ, Frankie JJ.
He is the white car there that is trailing Adam Komorowski out of the pit lane. You were saying about Wes Sims.
Has not fought since 2016, can confirm. I know everybody at home was waiting for me to clear it up.
Indeed.
But before that, he hadn't fought since 2013, so there's like a weird 3-year break there.
I think during 2013 to 2016 was when he was homeless.
Yeah, that sounds about like Wes Sims.
And Wes Sims, the ultimate carny in MMA circles.
Correct. Oh, the Wikipedia page has a whole thing about his charitable acts. I didn't know he did those.
Charitable in the loosest sense of the word.
It's weird. He just keeps going on about how he's friends with people, not about anything he's done that's charitable. Oh, he set up a GoFundMe for Mark Coleman. So when Coleman had to have both hips replaced and stuff.
Yeah, he did help out Mark Coleman during a particularly dark time in the UFC and wrestling legends time.
Correct.
And now Mark Coleman's got a coaching gig and working with Matt Brown.
Matt Mother Fornicator Brown.
Running the Immortal Martial Arts Center in, I forget if it's Cleveland or Cincinnati, but it's one of the big Ohio cities.
Where he and Frank Mir can be seen gallivanting through the hills and picking flowers.
I doubt. I could totally see Frank Mir doing that, though.
Yeah, he totally would. He's just crazy enough. Of course, he's just crazy enough for a lot of things.
Hey, look, it's Michael Magus.
It's your boy. Just a little dark on the color tone there. You're not quite Gulfoil, but you're working on it, which I appreciate.
Well, the Gulfoils were taken, and I just got a signed delivery. That was the delivery Rick.
Little Captain America. But
I'm teaming with Rick in this one as Zero Racing ESR Division. we're in the team's championship. And that was the livery that he picked when the Gulf Oil one was denied him. And that's what we got. We got Valvoline. I personally would have gone with this one here because the drivers of this livery here is a Serbian and a Croatian, which, I mean, you know, we throw everybody off.
You know what we should do?
You can see Rene Ermer's team got the Gulf Oil.
Gulf Oil to the front. So I hear next week this is being switched immediately to trucks.
No.
Pressure.
We would not do a fun series for trucks because we would
What do you
not
mean?
we would not want the randos in on the trucks. That sounds.
What
like
do you
a
mean?
really
That'd be
bad
the
idea.
most amount of fun possible.
Yeah, but you want to lock it up behind a password and keep the randos out.
Absolutely not. Chaos, baby.
Tobias Theorolf will lead us down to Paddock Hill Bend for the start of Brands Hatch here as the grid forms. We got red lights, and it is... Come on here. Go time. There we go. From Brands Hatch as they head down to Paddock Hill Bend for the first lap. 23 cars, so we lost somebody. I think we lost... I'm not sure we lost. Either that or we're just getting cut off and there's somebody that has been that is not listed on the tower there. We've had that happen before. Bertrand Barrier in fourth place behind Tobias Theorolf, Henrik Andreasen, and the Gulf Oil car of Renair.
Hell yeah. I appreciate that tone is way at the bottom, so you have a nice bass tone. Appreciate it.
Rounding off the top five, we have got Mr. Oliveira. And then he is followed up by Jord Evans and Martin Edmonds, along with Andy Darnell, James Butler, and Magic Kazchuk, your top 10. So, do you know what country these Aquila cars are from, Byron? Just out of
I
curiosity.
believe they are from Bhutan.
They are from Denmark, actually, as Rene Ermer goes off the track and loses third place to Bertrand Barrier.
Now I know that you're lying because nothing is from
Oh,
Denmark.
Big power slide by Ermer. He is very off the track. That'll probably drop him out of the top 10. But yeah, no, these are Danish cars. They are the CR1 model cup car. Basically kind of like a prototype if you're familiar with Le Mans racing or Daytona at home. And yeah, they're really fun to drive. They're free for the game, so you can pick up race room, racing experience, and race these cars for $0.
Those are the best kind of
You
cars.
have to have a computer that can run, but that is the only requirement.
Correct.
As,
Now we got all the
Rene
Gulf
Ermer
Oil in
loses
one
a
spot.
there to Sean Kinney. Lotus. Lots of action going on here. We got 3 wides, we got 2 wides, we got 1 wides. We got all the wides going on here.
Fat racing.
So 3 wide there. Sean Kinney and Rene Ermer go side by side. Henrik Andreasen still in second place. I wonder, is he partnering with Tobias Theorolf? No, because they have different numbers. Somebody is in the wall. That is Rene Ermer. No, Ermer is having a terrible day. The power of golf compels you, Rene. What's going on?
Too much oil, not enough Gulf.
In fact, he's getting
Sliding
overtaken.
everywhere.
Getting overtaken there by the legend of Gulf Oil, Rick Martel.
That is weird not to have your boy, super sexy Rick Martel, not in the Gulf.
The golf racing Rick Martel is
Indeed,
somebody
the
who gets a little
aficionado.
shape there. Jord Evans getting out of shape and getting pressured by Martin Edmonds, as well as pardon me, that was Oliveira getting out of shape, and he's nudging Jord Evans actually to the outside.
Get him. Maybe it's
No, for fourth
Jord,
place.
maybe it's Jord.
I believe it's Jord.
Jordan.
Oh, Oliveira very out of shape there through Paddock Hill Bend, and he makes contact with Jord Evans. And Martin's going to get them both. Yeah, Martin gets them both. And then almost blows it at Druids. Maybe blows it at Druids. Oliveira fights his way back past Evans, so far from overtaking Oliveira, Evans has ended up behind Oliveira and behind Martin Evans. That did not work out well for him at all. Andrew D up into the top 10. That being from the problems had by Ren Aaron.
It looks like your boy, the J. Rome. Oh, no, there he is. There he is. I found him. I was going to say, he didn't qualify, and I didn't, first glance through the list, I didn't see him. So I thought maybe he was the 24th car.
He is picking his way through. We might have lost somebody before the race. I'm not sure, but we're only getting 23 cars, and I think we only have 23 land out there as somebody goes off the track there, and Andy Darnell pushes his way past Magic Kashchuk, who was the car off track. Under pressure from Butler and D. Famous battles of Kashchuk, Butler, D, and Sean Kenny and Steve Davidson getting into the mix as well.
You kill him, Steve Dave. Where is your boy Slamballer Steve?
Slamballer Steve is not here today. Side by side between Steve Davidson and James Butler. Look at that. One of the white cars was in the wall. I didn't pick up that was. Andrew D trying to find. Oh, Steve Davidson gets spun out. Butler off the track as well. Side by side action between Taka and Mauricio Delgado.
Taka Nishinoku and his various drivers.
Steve Davidson rejoins back in 21st place. They're ahead of Rui. I think it was Rui Martins who was the car that was off in the white livery. Sean Kenny up into the top 10. 9th place for him. His return to race room in what he claims is 2 years away from the game.
That sounds like quite a long time.
Quite a bit. Henrik Andreasen in 2nd place. Of course, he's been active in other sims, predominantly Essential Corsa Competizione, but going sim to sim can be very, very different. There's different physics ideas, different levels of realism to a certain degree. For example, Race Room has a famously, I don't want to say bad, because I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do, but like the tire model with dirty tires in this game is incredibly punishing. So that is definitely something that can catch you off if you've been more familiar with iRacing, or ACC, or Automobilista, as opposed to Race Room. I do not think that is James Butler we're looking at. The livery pictured, there we go. That, I think, is James Butler. So we had a bit of an overlay hiccup, I think, there for a moment. Butler chases down Andrew D for top 10 position. Samuel Oliveira relegated to 6th place finally, behind Jord Evans. Any liveries outside of the Gulf Oil one catching your eyeball there, Byron?
I mean, I'm liking the ones with the dark blue in them. They seem to be a better dark blue than ever before. And also, Mr. James Butler here has a nice shade of green. So those are pretty good. But whoever's in that plain white car, I mean, fuck that guy.
That's Andrew D.
He is the worst.
Josiah Jerome's also got that livery, and
Also
Tobias
the worst.
And Renee,
the worst ever. Terrible.
It is admittedly the most plain livery possible. It's like, here's a white car.
Outside of that, I'm sure they're having a lovely time.
Samuel Oliveira on the back of Jord Evans with Andy Darnell in behind. They are teammates for this series. Representing Petrolhead Sim Racing. raced with Darnell a couple of times. Samuel Oliveira is a little bit new to me, although I can think of other Oliveras I've raced with over time. So maybe they're just blending together. But he is on the pressure against Jordan Evans.
Jordi Van. He twists the mustache while he shifted gears.
Adam Komorowski overtaking Taka for 13th place. Unlucky 13th.
Samuel Oliveira.
Magic Kazchuk in 8th place. He's having a solid outing. A couple of the British guys, I think Jordan Evans, as well as Magic Kazchuk and Andy Darnell, have all raced this track in real life as Rene Armour goes off. So, interesting cool. Advantages for them.
They let him go out there on their bicycles and just pedal around.
Mauricio Delgado in the yellow car, moving very slow. Mauricio, by the way, if you turn into his YouTube channel, is putting up highlights of these races.
Oh.
And at the beginning of the video, it's "We all live in a yellow submarine."
There's a guy who did a parody of that. It was "We all live next to a yellow ex-marine," and it was because the guy had jaundice.
Oh, okay.
And the song's all about this like ex-marine that has jaundice, and I don't remember anything else about it.
Side-by-side action through Hawthorns between Kenny and Kazchuk, as well as Darnell and Evans. Darnell making the overtake work, and not so fortunate for Sean Kenny.
Sean Kenny in the traditional black
Evans has dropped back
car.
2 spots now behind both Oliveira and behind Darnell.
Something tells me that Sean Kenny's a big fan of Spinal Tap because his cars, there are none more black.
I think he just loves the Lotus livery, but he may also be a fan of Spinal Tap. That is the famous John Player's special livery there that Sean's got on his car as Jordan Evans goes off the track there and loses spots to both Kazchuk
The bigger
and
the
Kenny.
waistband, the deeper the quicksand, if you know what I mean.
The John Player Special livery is, of course, the livery that the Lotus F1 team ran through most of the 1970s, which was their last, kind of hurrah. They won titles with Mario Andretti and Emerson Fittipaldi. That was the livery that was used.
What about Dario Franchitti?
Never with Dario Franchitti. Dario Franchitti never raced in F1, actually.
What?
Had a couple of tests, but never got a drive.
But they didn't have enough Italian people. They needed more.
Dario Franchitti's not Italian, though.
Neither is Andretti. And yet, he's still allowed to have that name.
Andretti is technically Croatian.
No, I didn't know that.
He was born in what was Italy at the time, but became Croatia during the various border redrawings that have occurred.
And then he had to...
During the desire to deny Bosnia of all beaches.
And then he had to swim across the Crow Ocean to safety.
Tau won in the pit lane.
I also like the light blue and the cream colored livery that is also pretty snazzy.
Sean Kenny overtakes that livery you just mentioned in the form of Magic Kazchuk.
What is indeed the frequency, Kenneth? Jordan Evans with the livery of the worst football team in CFL history.
That is wrong.
Terrible.
So I'm pretty sure the answer to that is actually the Ottawa Red Blacks.
You are, yeah.
Pretty sure that there is or one of the American teams.
True. Well, I mean, if you
If
you eliminate any expansion team, who has the worst record overall? Winnipeg?
Probably Ottawa.
Probably Ottawa. Doesn't matter what team.
Yeah, combining the Rough Riders, because the Rough Riders were often quite bad. Yep. The Renegades were always bad, and the Red Blacks have had a pretty rough history. I mean, they went to back-to-back Grey Cups, but aside from that, that's not been great. As Jordan Evans overtakes Magic Kazchuk there, 8th place. So if I were a betting man, I would say it's Ottawa.
I'm trying to find information. See if Google can give me an answer. I can tell you who had the worst friggin' season ever.
Isn't that a tie? I think a couple of teams have gone 0 for this.
Kinda, because they increased the games like the year after. So 1948, Calgary went 0-12.
Sean Kenny off the track and losing a spot to Jordan Evans.
Oh no, this
Butler getting very dicey with Andrew D, who picks up a track cut.
No, this is 12-0. They've not only given me the exact wrong stats, they've fucked around so that it looks like it was like a loss record instead of a win. I didn't even question it since I asked for like worst CFL winning percentage.
I feel like if we include expansion teams, the answer is probably the Las Vegas Posse. I remember them being exceptionally bad.
Yeah. Ooh, the CFL 16 plus losers club. That's a lot.
It's pretty hard to do in an 18-game season.
Yeah, Ottawa Rough Riders, 2-16, 1988. Hamilton Tiger Cats, 1997. Hamilton Tiger Cats, 2003. 1-17.
It was a bad year. It was a bad year.
Ottawa Red Blacks, 2014. Do I have to go to another page? I thought there were more.
Side-by-side action between John Barker and Taka, battling over 15th place. In the background there is Wayne Hutchison. And Barker got the win over there. Heading through the Jim Clark curve. Oh, Sean Kenny spins into the pit lane. He'll be able to rejoin without issue there, but drops out of the top 10. Promoting the likes of Andrew D., as well as James Butler and Magic Kezchuk.
Longest losing streak overall. Ottawa Senators / Rough Riders, 25 straight goddamn games. That's almost 2 goddamn seasons.
It's pretty close.
1928 to 1933, so I guess there were like less games back then.
Yeah, back then it was like a very, very short season.
Hamilton Wildcats lost 16 straight. Shreveport Pirates lost 14.
They were quite bad.
BC Lions
By
lost
the way,
13.
Shreveport Pirates are technically the Ottawa Rough Riders because the Rough Riders moved to Shreveport.
Oh, right.
And then the league just reformed the Ottawa Rough Riders under Horn Chen.
Yeah, well, that means they're on the list 3 times because they also lost 13 straight. There's a bunch of teams that lost 13 straight, including Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Oh yeah, no, we've had some terrible years.
Longest losing streak at home: Edmonton, Ottawa.
I think we have our answer that it's Ottawa.
Yeah, I think so. Longest losing streak
Here
away.
a lot.
Longest losing streak away. 1980 to 83, the Montreal Alouettes could not win a fucking game.
John Barker going down the inside of Taka, but Taka hangs on for the time being there through Sterling's.
22 straight games away. And then Toronto, and then Ottawa.
Yeah, again, Ottawa popping up here a lot. And also, like, the thing is I can't even really remember, like, any dominant Ottawa teams during my lifespan.
No.
Like, they've gone to the Grey Cup. I can recall them going to the Grey Cup and stuff, but, like, they weren't, like... It wasn't like the Anthony Calvillo Montreal Alouettes where it's, like, just pencil them into the Grey Cup now.
Yeah. Here's probably why, because between 1980 and 1996, Ottawa Rough Riders had a less than 500 win percentage every single year.
There you go.
17 straight seasons of not 500 ball. The BC Lions did it 12 seasons in a row between 65 and 76.
James Butler trying to find his way past Magic Kezchuk. Pressuring each other there through Sheen and Sterling's into the Jim Clark curve. Pick up Andy Darnell running in a solid 6th place. Running in formation with teammate Samuel Oliveira, 5th and 6th.
Oh, there you go. Edmonton Eskimos, the only team to win
And
16
Darnell
in a
will
season.
overtake him through Paddock Hill and into Druids. Interesting. I wonder if there was a team order at play there. But I think Oliveira just made a mistake and then didn't try to hold the position.
I believe they are working what is colloquially known as the shake and bake.
You're losing ground to Jordan Evans, so we're going to work on that. Josiah Jerome and Adam Komorowski battling for 13th place.
Get up, Josiah. You can do it. We believe in you, even though your car is ugly.
Not a big fan of Komorowski's livery either, to be honest.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But at least, like, it'd be like, here's some vanilla ice cream that's substandard and not even really good vanilla ice cream. And then we'll give you the same ice cream, but we'll put some strawberry sauce on top. That's the difference between those two liveries.
Gotcha.
So the Eskimos, which are now the Elks, won 16 in a season once. That is the most. And the Stampeders have won 15 5 different times.
I was going to say a couple times.
5 different times. 93, 94, 95. That Flutie magic was working some stuff.
Years, yeah.
2014 and 2016. Also in 1995, Baltimore Stallions won 15 as well.
And went on to win the Grey Cup against those Calgary Stampeders.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Josiah Jerome on the tail. By the way, the Baltimore Stallions had the heaviest offensive line of all time in CFL history that year. Josiah Jerome goes off the track there and takes the pressure off of Adam Komorowski.
Them Americans is hefty.
And starting lineup was Neil Ford at right tackle, Mark Dixon at right guard, Nick Subis, Mike Withacombe, and Shar Pradanish, who's probably the greatest Persian born player of all time.
Perhaps he is a prince. Most losses in a season. We're Hamilton Tiger Cats, 17.
They had 4 All-Stars along that line. Only Dixon was elected to the All-Star game. Rene Ermer going around the outside of Taka. Going over 16th place. Ermer trying to come back after a number of incidents earlier in the race. Trying to salvage what he can.
We believe in you. Use the other Taka Michinoku driver.
They also had back-to-back most outstanding offensive linemen in the CFL during those 2 years, with Sharper Johnish winning in 94 and Withacombe in 95.
Very nice. Would you like to guess who has the most points allowed in a season? I'll give you a hint. It's not the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
I was going to say, we've never had quite that bad of a defense, at least in my lifetime. And CFL scoring has been going up and up and up, so I assume this is somewhat recent.
It is not. It's not so far back. It's 1991.
Oh, well then I have... I'm going to go with Ottawa.
You're close. They came in second.
Oh.
So Ottawa Rough Riders second with 685 points allowed.
Who was the worst?
Saskatchewan Rough Riders, 710 points allowed.
They were quite bad at that time, although ironically had just won a Grey Cup 2 years before, and one of the greatest Grey Cup games of all time, 1989 at the Skydome.
Was that the Snow Bowl?
No. The Skydome one was them versus the Ticats, won on a last play field goal by Dave Ridgway of my Burlington, Ontario. He went to my high school, actually.
Very nice.
Had one of the greatest catches you're ever going to see in a CFL game with Tony Champion, who, I must say, 4 broken ribs when he made this play.
Damn.
Dove back into the corner of the end zone, got like 3/4 rotation, brought it in for a touchdown in the Grey Cup with that many broken ribs.
Very nice. Michael Magus, you have been fined 1 giant hamburger for being a weirdo and you need to slow down.
Track cut penalty as
You're the
Sean
worst.
Kenny is off the track again.
Ooh. Mike, I almost hate to do it to you, but you also hold another record for your Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Okay.
Largest margin of victory. Montreal 82, Hamilton 14. That's a lot. That's back in 56. So, I mean, it's not that big a deal.
I mean, we did beat Montreal 70-10 at one point.
That's pretty good.
So, you know, we got some level of revenge.
Oh, apparently the Blue Bombers beat Saskatchewan 56-0 in 86. Damn. Go home.
I mean, there's been a lot of whoopings between those two teams because, I mean, they've gone through various parts of history. One was very good and one was very bad.
Yeah.
It's happened a number of times.
Yeah, CFL's weird. It fluctuates a lot. Very rarely do you have like a dynasty. You have to sign a guy like Calvillo.
I mean, there's a couple. There was Montreal, obviously, under Calvillo.
Yeah.
There was the Calgary quarterback.
Stampeders, yeah.
From Flutie to Garcia to Dickinson to Burse.
Yeah.
Did very, very well.
But you have to have like it really
Eskimos,
does
of course, have had a couple of dynasties.
I think they had Warren Moon.
No, it's definitely a very quarterback-driven league. It is hard to succeed without a very good quarterback as we come down towards the end here. Time ticking down. Tobias Theerolf. We've seen very little of him. We've said very little about him. He's up there about 4 seconds ahead of Henrik Andreas and Bertrand Barrier rounding off the podium. Barrier is under pressure from Martin Edmonds. Hopefully we look at that. James Butler right now trying to get that 8th place off of Magic Kazchuk. And that is Andrew D in the background. There's Jordan Evans trying to catch up to the Petrol boys. Contact! Kazchuk, D, Butler, they're all in the wall.
That's a lot of wall. I didn't. I appreciate if we went back to that and see what's going on.
Indeed. Josiah Jerome picking up a slowdown penalty for abusing track limits. And that is Jordan Evans off. Steve Davidson on the tail of Taka. Still hasn't found his way past him. John Barker up ahead. Barker hanging on to the last points paying position in 15th place, by the way. And some side-by-side contact there between Steve Dave and ya boy Taka.
Indeed.
As they head on to the final lap. So 1 lap to go. 3rd place is kind of stopped being up for grabs. Darnell and Oliveira are close together, but they are teammates. Fairly cooperative. Butler is on the tail of Andrew D here. Kazchuk has been dropped way back and is actually now being pestered by Michael Magus for 10th place. That is reverse grid pole, by the way. Top 10 reverse for race 2. And Sean Kenny and Komorowski, Jerome, Barker, Taka, Davidson, Hutchison, Ermer, Delgado, Martins, and Martel are the 22 running cars. James Butler, one last chance here at the Jim Clark curve to try to take that 8th place. It does not look like it's going to happen. He'll come home in 9th here at the first race of the season. Time battle going on here. That is Steve Davidson still behind Taka and John Barker. That is for the final point here, currently being held by John Barker in the dark blue car. Look at the inside, nothing there. Through the Jim Clark curve for the final time, and Barker will bring home that point ahead of Taka and Davidson. Hutchison's 18th and Ermer in 19th. Fastest lap goes to Henrik Andreasen. Tobias Theerolf gets the win. Barrier will join them on the podium.
That Toby the Theory Wolf guy, he's kind of okay at the racing.
Actually, look at that. Look at the best lap there, Byron. 127.376, 127.376.
Dang.
Less than 100th of a second gave Andreasen or less than 1,000th of a second gave Andreasen the fastest lap over Tobias.
And that Magus kid, he went all the way from 15th up to 11th.
He did.
Which means that he's vastly superior to Josiah Jerome.
Ooh, I don't know if I can co-sign that.
Oh my God, so much better. And your voice is so much deeper than his.
Oh, that I can't co-sign it in any way.
Well, that's all we got for racing tonight. Hope you enjoyed things.
We got a whole another race here, sir.
What? No.
In fact, you're about to see a thing. You're about to see
what kind of thing?
I'm gonna let it be a complete surprise.
My ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling.
It's not a ding-a-ling. It's not that kind of thing.
See, you got Michael Magus here in the Spider-Man car.
It is actually very Spider-Man.
Spoder car. Plunges deep into Brandon's hatchway. Can he race? Push the pedals. Maybe, probably, something else that rhymes with pedals. You're off the case, Komorowski.
Adam Komorowski, Tugas driver. Bit of a weird one in American racing for Tugas. It's a little strange.
Tugas and the Masters of the Universe. Michael, I had my big old Cheaty Boy beef dip sandwich today.
Mm-hmm.
So I make the au jus myself. So get yourself a carton of beef stock and add some spin me right round, Komorowski right round. And so you kind of you magic up your au jus at home, because really the problem with beef dip is you never get enough au jus. You never do. No matter where you go.
This is true.
So I ordered Quiznos, and since I use a whole carton of beef stock, I ordered 2 sandwiches. So I had 2 different beef sandwiches delivered from Quiznos with extra meat, because that sometimes is also the problem with the beef stick sandwich.
Gotcha.
And it's glorious. You get as much au jus as you want. It tastes the way you want it to taste because you're making it. And oh my God, it's a mirage! I'm telling you all, it's a whole goddamn goddamn time. You get a giant sandwich, you get a foot-long sandwich to just dunk in a whole bunch of au jus. And since you basically will always want 2, you order 2 sandwiches, and so I'm gonna have another one later. Life hack confirmed. I might even slice up cheese and put it on the sandwich to have extra cheese. Because I'm always game
for extra cheese.
Extra cheese is the shit.
Indeed.
I wonder if I could
how
order
many
extra
cars
onions.
did we lose between race 1 and race 2? That is the question. That always tends to happen. You cannot rejoin a race room server after you have left it. So if you leave during race 1, you miss race 2. That's just how it works.
Correct.
We're going to find out here pretty shortly how many cars of the 23 are still in the server.
All of them.
I don't think it's all of them. I think we lost at least one. I do know that for a fact. Because something happened between after race 1, and that was Samuel Oliveira departed. And he finished in the top 10, so that meant the reverse grid got changed, and look at who is on pole!
Dun, dun, dun. Michael, if you don't hold this lead past 3 corners, I'm going to find you and I'm going to remove one of your toenails.
Michael Magus going side by side into Paddock Hill Bend with Magic Cash Chuck.
Put him in the wall! Put him in the wall!
They make it through Paddock Hill Bend and into Druid, still side by side.
Michael, you're supposed to be 9 kilometers ahead of these people right now.
That does not happen.
What is wrong with you? Cut him off!
Magus takes the lead!
Fuck you.
And
shit.
Kashchuk
Oh,
gets
yeah.
collected.
Look at that. Glorious.
Somebody on their roof. That was Jordan Evans, who was on his roof. Tobias
Y'all can all eat
Thierolf, race
shit.
one
Michael
leader.
Magnus got to take it away. He's so far ahead of you now. Everybody else is missing half their car.
Magus leads from Butler, Darnell, D, Barrier. Barrier's had a great opening couple of corners here up to 5th place already. Henrik Andreas and Josiah Jerome's had a fantastic start. He's up to 7th place.
Well done.
Steve Davidson as well, and then Sean Kenny and John Barker are top 10. And we are down to 17 cars. Let's see. Oh, no. It's that's a glitch on the tower because Kashchuk just appeared. So we had more than 17. How many more, I don't know.
1 million.
At least one more. James Butler putting the pressure on Michael Magus for the race lead as somebody goes down into the pit lane there. Spin. That is Andrew D. Having a big spin. And somebody else also off the track. Well, I held it for more than 3 turns, Byron.
Well done.
Down the inside,
Now
James
put him
Butler
along.
trying to get past at Druid's prime overtaking spot here. Magus
did
goes
not put
deep
him
trying to
along. What the
defend.
fuck?
Tries to get it back at Graham Hill Bend and cannot do it. Butler is your new leader. Henrik Andreasen trying to come through as well as Andy Darnell. And, Darnell with a little, or Andreasen with a little hip check for Magus. And the yellow submarine of Bertrand Barrier trying to come through as well. So Butler out front, Andreasen to 3rd. He was 2nd in race 1 and had the fastest lap. Andy Darnell 2nd, Magus down to 4th. Barrier 5th. Jerome still in an impressive 6th place. He's kind of come from nowhere here. Just loses that 6th place to Tobias Thierolf there. Steve Davidson's up in the top 10. John Barker and Taka rounding off the top 10. Followed by Komorowski, Ermer, Delgado, Edmonds, Hutchison, Kashchuk, and Evans.
Martin Edmonds, you have been fined 5 cheeseburgers because you are a weird bastard.
Magus off the track.
What the fuck, Mike? You had the win. What the fuck are you doing?
No, I was having problems with Jim Clark curve all throughout like race 1 and qualifying and practice. It was a rough time.
Why'd I recommend listening to the Dave Clark 5 while going around the Jim Clark curve?
Oh, that might help.
Indeed.
Brands Hatch is never a track that I'm super strong at. I'll be quite honest. There's a couple of turns here that, like, regardless of what car we're running, Rene Erber getting side by side with Komorowski and both of them.
We're going the entire field wide through this corner.
Komorowski kind of coming back on at a bit of an awkward angle there and almost hit Martin Edmonds in the process. Meantime, it is Andreasen hunting James Butler. Butler picking up a slow down penalty. That's not good timing when you're being pressured for the lead. Through Sterling's and approaching Jim Clark curve. This track is also cursed to me because this, for those who aren't aware, this is the track where my pedals broke. This is also the track where my steering wheel came off in my hands. And this is also a track where I have twice lost top 10s because my computer decided to crash while we were running with like 5 laps to go. So I'm very cursed.
Sounds like you need to just get back on the pony.
Well, I am. I'm here again, aren't I? I'm here for punishment again.
Get on it. Wow.
Bertrand Barrier on the tail of Andy Darnell, looking to get back on the podium for the 2nd time in a row.
My saddle is waiting. Come and jump on it.
Jump on it. That is not Martin Edmonds that we're looking at. So the overlay, once again, is incorrect. That is Bertrand Barrier. as I think Jordan Evans is off the track again. That is Martin Edmonds. There we go. Moving into ninth place as he overtakes John Barker. ESR Edmond versus ESR Edmond. Steve Davidson on the tail of Michael Magus. Battle for 7th place. Steve Dave had a rough race 1 in the... in fact, both the Gulf Oil cars, Steve Davidson and Rene Ermer, had a rough race 1. And Ermer's had a rough race 2. Davidson's had a notably better performance so far. As they run behind Josiah Jerome in the white car. Josiah Jerome.
Michael, are you ready for the greatest first-round pick of all time in the CFL draft?
Go ahead.
Round 1, pick number 5, 1976 draft, Louis Pasaglia.
I mean, you could do much, much worse than Louis Pasaglia. I don't know about best, but he definitely had longevity and was an effective kicker and puncher for the BC Lions for.
He played from 76 to 2000.
Yep.
He won 3 Grey Cups.
In terms of longevity, it's him, Bob Cameron, and then there isn't even a 3rd place.
His very last season, he went 90.9% field goal percentage, which was the highest in his whole career. At the age of 752,000 years old.
Barrier going side by side with Tobias Thirl, who will move into 4th place. Admittedly, if I recall correctly, the Lions were not really letting Pasaglia kick long field goals at the end of his career.
You're probably right.
It was a lot of chip shots.
That is very, very possible.
I think they even had a second kicker on the roster. I think that's when they picked up Sean White to basically have Sean White handle the long field goals.
Could be.
They were also overtaking Andy Darnell, so damn. In the course of like 3 corners, he goes from 5th place to 3rd place.
Ha-cha-cha. See, I would recommend you do that from now on.
Barrier trying to find his way back past Andy Darnell. Or, I think for the first time, past Andy Darnell. Wayne Hutchison picking up a slow down penalty. 14th place.
He was a 9-time All-Star as a kicker. That should tell you some shit.
Darnell off the track there, and that will cost him the spot to Barrier. Martin Edmonds, in the meantime, putting the pressure on Steve Davidson. Magus goes a little bit wide through Sterling's and gets a little bit of a rub with Steve Davidson as they bang it on in the Jim Clark curve. Magus escorts him to the edge of the track and retains 7th place.
Put him in the wall.
Spooder bend again.
Spooder Mike, driving all them Spooder cars. It's not a I was going to say trike, but it's got 4 wheels.
Yeah. It is a car.
Doesn't even have 2 turntables or a microphone. 3 MCs and 1 DJ.
Side-by-side action. Martin Edmonds trying to get through at Surtees. And he will successfully do it, moving into 8th place. Finished 4th in race 1, so he's on the move to try to get back to the top 5 again. pressure on here through Westfields or Hawthorne. Westfield. Oh, one of the golf cars has headbutted the wall. I think that's Rene Ermer. And indeed, Ermer is dropping down the order, so that is indeed him. Jim Clark curve once again. He's still hanging on to 7th place against Martin Edmonds and Steve Davidson.
Good old Ermer the Squirmer.
Josiah Jerome up ahead.
How long before Toe Bender the Theory Wolf takes over first place?
Well, he's in 3rd right now, and in fact, there he is, putting the pressure on James Butler. Screws to him. Henrik Andreasen, 3.5 seconds ahead. I don't know if he can really get first place, though, because Andreasen is capable of going as fast as Tobias Theory. The question is, will there be someone between them? As Magus and Edmonds go side by side into Surtees. And Edmonds will shoulder his way through like a good hockey player would. James Butler's still hanging on to that 2nd place. He's a feisty and robust defender.
El Robusto.
El Robusto. Side-by-side action. Theorolf takes 2nd place in Paddock Hill Bend, and we didn't really get a great camera view of it. A little disappointed.
It's because we're more focused on Spoder Mike.
Well, Spoder Mike is having a great fight with Steve Davidson there over 8th place.
You tell him, Steve Dave. Put him in the wall.
But I would have liked to see the move that Tobias pulled off there through Paddock Hill Bend to take 2nd place.
You're probably not wrong. And judging by the giant gap that is now developed, he definitely put Butler in the wall.
Magus and Davidson banging wheels again through Druids and then into the Graham Hill Bend. And Davidson's going to get through. 8th place. And Magus, who have had a number of battles back in the race, back in the glory days of Magus's race record. Fighting over that 8th place, and Butler doesn't really seem to have an answer for Theorolf here in the battle for 2nd place. So his focus may become a little bit rear-facing as Bertrand Barrier is 2.5 seconds behind. He got on the podium last time. Rounding off the top 10, we got Darnell, Jerome, Edmonds, Davidson, Magus, and John Barker, who is battling with this man, Takahide Mariuka, a.k.a. Taka. Wayne Hutchison, Adam Komorowski, Magic Kaszczuk, Jordan Evans, Andrew D., and Mauricio Delgado round off the cars that are visible to me on the tower. I do know that Rick Martel is still out there, so there's at least 18 cars. As Josiah Jerome off the track and dropping through the order. I wonder what has happened there. And I still don't have an answer for what was happening there.
I believe just a lot of heroin.
Could be another one of Josiah's famous "my computer fell apart" mid-race issues. And he will retire the car, and that moves Rick Martel back into the top 17. Magic Kaszczuk, Jordan Evans, two guys who are a little out of place right now. They are battling with Adam Komorowski over 12th place with Andrew D., who's another out of place car. Behind them. Meantime, Taka is still now in the top 10. 2.5 minutes to go here around Brands Hatch. We will be heading to Donington Park as well as Silverstone during this series.
Silverstone.
Those are the 3 British tracks that are currently in race order. Down the inside goes Cash Chuck. He hits Komorowski and Jordan Evans as well. They're both off.
Oh my
2
god.
for the price of 1 for Magic Cash Chuck.
Ridiculousness.
That was a little aggressive. You're going 3 wide through Paddock Hill Bend, and you're going to run into troubles like that. I would have to put that on Mr. Kashchuk for forcing that 3 wide, but this is an unstewarded series, so I will not be referring that to this steward. Taka and John Barker having a good battle here over 9th place. Good to see John Barker up near the front. He battled it out for 15th place in race 1, and he's having a very solid run here in race number 2. Wayne Hutchison in the background. And up ahead of them it is Michael Magus and Steve Davidson, who are about 1.2 seconds apart now. Andrew D running in 13th place, helped out by the Komorowski and Evans spin out. He's chasing down Magic Kashchuk, a longtime rival of his, and there is the battle between Barker and Taka again over 9th place. Jordan Evans, you were fined 5 credits for violation of the verbal code.
Dang.
It's amazing to see these 2 guys going nose to tail like this, John Barker and Taka Mariuka, for lap after lap after lap here. There doesn't appear to be any contact between them. This is amazing wheel-to-wheel driving.
I believe it's time for him to put the other guy in the wall.
Taka going side by side through Paddock Hill Bend. Here we go. Taka on the inside, John Barker on the outside, but it flips on the exit. Inside line for Barker into Druids. And Taka went too deep. It might actually be vulnerable to Wayne Hutchison. Like Mauricio Delgado. Taking Jordan Evans. He's going very slowly through there. 3-way fight now. Wayne is in this fight in the green and white car. And red car. And blue car. Actually, there is a lot of colors on the car.
If I knew all the words to Rainbow Connection, I'd be making a parody right now. But I do not remember them all. I have to re-listen to the Me First and the Gimme Gimme's cover. They have a whole album of show tunes done punk style.
Would that cover be the Rainbow Connection?
No, maybe, possibly. Also, it's pronounced Hutchison.
That's what I've been saying.
Have you?
Yes.
Are you sure?
We have long ago gotten past the Wayne problem.
The Wayne in Spain drives mainly aeroplanes.
Yeah, drives mainly iRacing, frankly.
Wow, what a scrub. I don't subscribe to Apple products like that, sir.
Bertrand Barrier has caught up to James Butler, battle for 3rd place. And in the meantime, Henrik Andreassen's got a 5-second lead out in front of the pack. Lovely countryside around Brands Hatch.
Potentially.
Former home of the British Grand Prix, of course, although historically Silverstone has held that honor. Also one of the many homes of the European Grand Prix, which is basically F1's way of hosting a second race in a country without having a second Grand Prix for the country.
But I recommend just hosting 19 Grand Prix per country.
It has been used to host multiple races in Italy, Spain, Germany, the UK. They also did it with Japan when they had, during the mid-90s, they had the Pacific Grand Prix and the Japanese one. And of course, they've also done various times where they've had up to 3 races in the United States of America. And just didn't bother, like US West, US East, US Grand Prix. There you go. We're not even going to get creative about it.
The grandest of breeds. Toby the Theory Wolf, you have been fined 5,000 cheeseburgers.
The U.S. has got to have a monopoly on like bad tracks that have been used for F1. The Detroit track, the Dallas track, the Caesars Palace parking lot race.
Eh.
These are just like terrible ideas.
What do you want? They're a third world country. They don't even have friggin' internet.
They have a lot of really, really good race facilities, though. They have COTA. They have Indianapolis. They have...
No one's ever... They got the thing that goes around in the circle.
They have Laguna Seca, which you found that lovely brake map of.
I did. That was weird. That was a weird find.
Oh, one of the cars is off. That was one of the cream and blue cars.
Anybody who has not seen that map, you can join the Discord. Link in the description below. It's in the general section of the Discord.
Bertrand Barrier all over the back end of James Butler. He wants that podium. He wants the same 3 people who have been on the podium for both of these races. He's down the inside of Surtees, heading down to Pilgrim's Drop. They are still side by side, but yeah, that is Butler does not have the straight line speed to hang on there. And indeed, it will be 3rd place for Bertrand Barrier. And if he can hold it for 2 more laps, he will have gotten himself a double podium here today.
Double, 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 double.
Meantime, Andrew D has overtaken Wayne Hutchison and is now on the tail of Taka, but he gets very wide out of Graham Hill Bend.
You're going to overtake Wayne Hutchison, you're
spot.
obviously cheating.
Wayne gets back in there. So this is John Barker versus Taka versus Wayne versus Andrew D. All up for grabs here, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Taka going side by side through Pilgrim Drop. Can he carry more speed? He is giving John Barker the inside line into Hawthorne. And Barker will retain. Down the inside, or around the outside there, Wayne thinking about it. Wayne getting a little aggressive. As John Barker taps the rear of Wayne and loses control of the car. And behind him it is Magic Kazchuk.
Do you believe in magic? In the young goes Charlotte?
Magic Kazchuk has shown us many great things.
Do you believe in tragic?
I mean, the real question, though, Byron, is do you believe in Bogdan?
I mean, possibly. He seems kind of believable.
James Butler trying to get back on the podium. This is his last lap, last chance to do it as they work their way through Hawthorns and Westfield. Machine Curve. Also, your favorite corner on this track, Dingledell.
Dingledell, Berry, Curve, Emporium, and Sweetmeats.
Through Sterling's for the final time. On to Jim Clark. Oh, he might actually have another lap here. Nope, there is the check. Okay. This is the last lap. Henrik Andreasen, your winner. Tobias Theerolf in second. Bertrand Barrier rounds off the podium, hanging on against James Butler at the end. Michael Magus on the hunt against Steve Davidson here. The last little bit here for 7th place.
Just pit maneuver, spin him out, get the win.
Heading into Jim Clark curve, final
I know the
turn
stewards
on the
would
track.
get away with it.
Well, there is no steward for this race. The only penalty would be reputation.
Which is fine.
Bit of a mistake there by Wayne Hutchison, which does open the door for Andrew D. Let's see if he can get through here. In the meantime, Taka is trying to go for 9th place again against John Barker, but I think Barker is going to hang on here. John Barker. Oh, contact between Wayne and Andrew D. John Barker does hang on to 9th place, and all of a sudden, Magic Kashuk goes from 13th to 11th on the final corner. Wayne resumes in 12th place. Andrew D looks like he parked it after that contact. Rick Martel in 16th place.
Looking so super sexy in the spotter car.
My teammate. It's my quarterback. Is your results. Henrik Andreasen, your winner, but again, the winner doesn't get fastest lap because the fastest lap goes to Tobias Theron. Bertrand Barrier joins them on the podium. James Butler, Andy Darnell, Martin Edmonds, Steve Davidson, Michael Maggs. Look at those Canadian flags. That's nice. John Barker, Taka Mariuka, Magic Kashuk, Wayne Hutchison, Jord Evans, Adam Komorowski, Mauricio Delgado, and Rick Martel finishing the race. Lost Oliveira before anything began, as well as Sean Kenny, Martins, and during the race we lost Andrew D, Josiah Jerome, and Rene.
Is that true?
It is true. There was also a random Otter Hub problem, like at the beginning of race 2, where a couple of the people using Otter Hub were having their HUDs flash, and it was very distracting. I did not have that problem. Thank Lord. Anyways, Byron, your final thoughts as we leave Brands Hatch.
Beef dip's pretty good.